Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and founder of EverydaySuccessHabits.com. And I gotta tell you, I am fired up here today because we are going to tackle a question that quite frankly I have been thinking about and to a certain extent even struggling with over the years. You know, I started my practice in 2001, and this was something where I remember when I was first getting started, I was like, boy, why is it that everyone isn't successful? Why is it that more people aren't more successful? And the question that we're going to tackle is we're going to take that head on, which is why is it some people are successful while others struggle? You know, why is it that a person with the exact same skill set, work ethic, training can reach a certain level of breakthrough results and obviously success, and then compared again to somebody with the exact same set of training and skills and all that good professionalism and all that stuff, why is it that they're less successful? And you see this in a lot of areas too. You know, you see this when you're looking at business as entrepreneurs. You see this in individuals in a either corporate or organizational level. You see people who are just killing it and getting after it and moving forward and doing all these things. And then you see people who are pretty similar, if not an exact facsimile of, and you're like, what exactly is the deal? So what we're going to do, this is going to be an ongoing discussion. You know, why are some people more successful than others? Why, like I said, while others struggle type of deal. But consider this one of our first installments into that particular library. And the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people, like I said, are definitely thinking about it and looking at it. But I hope it can provide a framework where you can continue to grow and continue to be more successful. Okay, so here's the deal, in my opinion. One of the reasons why some people are more successful than others is because of this idea called commission and omission. All right, now let me unpack it for you. What I believe is that successful people do things and don't do things that make them successful. Do things is commission, don't do things is omission. And here's the thing, I think the exact opposite is also true. In other words, I think unsuccessful people actually do things that keep them or make them unsuccessful. Okay? Now, in Western society, here in the United States, we tend to think of success as a conversation around commission. I need to do these things in order to be more successful. And there's no question about that. Work ethic, you know, professionalism, you know, being a go-getter, like that definitely helps. There's no question about that. But as I think you'll find here as we talk about this, there are some things that successful people don't do as well, which also, by the absence, or let me put it this way, by the presence of their absence, by the presence of their absence also makes them more successful. All right, Brian, you're going to need to unpack that for me. Not a problem, not a problem. Let's talk about successful people, commission, omission. All right, successful people, generally speaking, and this is all just generally speaking. This is not like, oh, well, they have to have 100% of these, or I'm successful and I'm not an early riser, for example. Like, this is not that. Okay, it's not a checklist. It's just, generally speaking, successful people are go-getters. Generally speaking, successful people have a good work ethic. They have a bias towards taking action. As I mentioned earlier, generally speaking, they're early risers. You know, me personally, I get up between 5:30 and 6 o'clock every day during the week. I mean, I do. Sometimes if I really start, you know, I talk about the playoffs and it starts getting serious, I'll get up at 5:15. You know what I mean? Today, I slept in till, let's see, my alarm was supposed to go off at 6 o'clock. And I think I got up, let's see, I was awake at around 5 of 6, because I was tired this particular week. Okay, but generally speaking, man, I'm up 5:30, 5:15, I'll sleep in at 6 o'clock, and I'm up and going. Versus omission. So that's the commission, right? Successful people, omission. They don't watch a lot of television. They don't have a scarcity mindset. They don't overly worry about things they can't control. They're not easily distracted or knocked off course. Okay? Commission and omission is a huge, huge thing. Successful people do work well with others. Back to commission. They are focused and intentional with their time. They do take time off to relax and recharge. That's interesting. You don't normally think about that. Western archetype doesn't think like that, does it? Western archetype is all about go, 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 push, 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 all-nighters, some version of Wall Street meets Silicon Valley type of thing. But in my experience, and I can speak personally as well as others I've, talked to and met, they are intentional. And because they're intentional and focused with their time, they're able to relax and recharge and take time off. Okay? Now, let's flip the switch a little bit because I kind of alluded to this. I said, well, if successful people, we're talking about commission and omission, if successful people are doing things that make them successful through the presence of action and through the absence of its presence, not doing the wrong things, then the same thing is also true. And this, to me, was the big breakthrough. I was talking with a person about this week. Actually, they're thinking about having me come out and speak. We were talking about maybe having me speak to their group. And we were talking about this point where it was like, I was always trying to figure out, like, how is it that people are not winning, not getting as much business as they want, not getting as many sales, not having the time freedom, not getting the promotion, not getting the good job? Why is it that people are unsuccessful? And from that, are those people just like a bunch of lazy, people? And the answer is no, obviously. Like, I know a lot of people who work hard who are still not getting what they want. Like, at all. Okay, and this gets into that. Unsuccessful people do things, commission, that keep them unsuccessful. In no particular order, but this happens to be number one. Unsuccessful people have a pride and ego challenge. It gets in their way. Unsuccessful people worry. They stress. They try to micromanage and overly control things. They have a fixed mindset. Unsuccessful people unnecessarily stress about things. Okay? Let me tell you what they don't do. So that's the commission. Let me tell you what they don't do. They don't ask for help or assistance. They aren't open to new ideas or input from others. They don't listen in general or to wise advice. They're not very coachable. Okay? And then if you really want to take a look at it, unsuccessful people, omission, generally speaking, they're not keeping their body in shape. They're not reading. Okay? They are consistently unreliable. We're back up to commission. They do consistently look for shortcuts and easy ways out. There's a guy actually I knew who still don't really spend as much time around him because he did that all the time. He was constantly looking for shortcuts, constantly looking for easy ways out. You know what successful people do? When we hit a roadblock, we double down. We'll talk about this more. I actually did a post on resiliency and rising above adversity. Okay, spoiler alert. Successful people rise above it because they double down with their process and actions. Unsuccessful people look for ways around it. Okay? Successful people have a morning routine. Successful people, I'm going to go old school Stephen Covey here. Successful people seek first to understand, then to be understood. Successful people don't overreact. And they don't spend a lot of time with toxic people or in toxic environments. Okay? Conversely, unsuccessful people, they are consistently unreliable. I think I already mentioned that. They sometimes tend to be perfectionistic. They have a tendency not to have a morning routine. We're to omission now. They sometimes, usually more often than not, are sleeping late. They don't have a real schedule. Back to commission. Okay, and I'm not trying to make anybody wrong here. I'm not trying to say that anybody is better or worse as a person or an entity. We're talking about success in terms of, and here's how I define success. Are you in line? Are you doing things that's in line with where you want to go? Have you achieved a degree of success in your family, in your work, with your financial situation? Part of the challenge that people find, and I'll talk about this next time, well, maybe not, not the next time, but I'll talk about this another time, is that part of being successful is striking the balance between being happy with where you are and striving to move forward to where you want to go. That's a skill, by the way, just like hitting a golf ball and shooting a basketball. Being happy with where you are, showing gratitude for your current set of circumstances, while also consistently striving to move forward, that's success. And what I found is that when you take a look at people, including myself, you'll find a conversation about commission and omission, and I wanted to get us started with that. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's something that you can see yourself using. Feel free to drop by our website, everydaysuccesshabits.com. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.